there, Brad. Next, I'm going to invite Stu into the conversation. And Stu, I'm really glad that you're here because you've got most of this, we've kind of been internet focused, but you have an interesting story to share about providing devices.
Yes. The big issue that we had, first off, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. The big issue that we had, and it became apparent once COVID-19 shut down our school, was devices. Our school during this year had sort of made a commitment in-house to start incorporating Linux and open source software to try to get better use out of resources that we already had. And we were able to leverage that through our computer club, the Penguin Corps, to start providing those devices once the school is shut down. Now, the first thing we did was we started to survey the families to uncover the needs. During the school year, if you had a family that had 4 kids and 1 computer, that might be good enough. But once the school was shut down, then all of a sudden that was completely inadequate. So families that we never thought we'd hear from that had a need made themselves known. We started to use Linux to repurpose our school's retired Windows 7 laptops. And these had been staff computers that had just been replaced and really were just sitting on a shelf waiting to go to a recycler. Windows 7, of course, expired in January, and under using Windows 7, they didn't run that great. But once we converted them over to Linux, they ran really well. And these were initially computers that were supposed to go to a science teacher's room down the hall from me. Then the school got shut down, and we started giving those away instead. And the main reason that we're using Linux is A, it's free, B, it has no restrictive user agreements, so we can give it away as much as we want without violating a license agreement. Then, once we started to run out of those, we solicited donations of used computers using the same practices. I started working my existing contacts, trying to look up people who had given me computers in the past for similar projects, and some of those did reach out to me and start to give us laptop computers. The school and I both reached out on social media, the school through Facebook and Instagram, and then I did a little bit on Facebook, but mostly through Twitter. Just blasting it out there and saying, we're trying to recycle computers for distance learning for our students, please contact us. And then the Pioneer Press included us in a story that they ran on March 29th in the Sunday edition, letting people know that ways that you can help out locally for coronavirus. Well, we got on that list for Give a Used Computer. So people started emailing me about that as well. Then we started to take in that donated gear for Windows laptops, or former Windows laptops, I guess. We got several from St. Vincent de Paul through their thrift stores, because their thrift stores are closed right now. There was a headhunter company called Search Leaders LLC in St. Michael that donated some, and then several individuals. All of these were recycled with Ubuntu, and we selected that version of Linux because it has a sort of a low-powered graphics environment, so it wasn't super resource-heavy and would run pretty well on the older computers. We also received a large number of Chromebooks from Caribou Coffee. Now, these are ones that the company had been using, but with some of them, the batteries had died and they wouldn't take a charge anymore. But with all of them, Chrome OS was no longer being supported by Google because of the age of the machine. Well, no problem. We installed Gallium OS to replace Chrome OS because Gallium is a version of Linux that's customized to put on Chromebooks. And we were able to get these things up and running again. Then, through the school office, we started to give these computers away. Families who filled out the survey, we would follow up with. They would come to the school to pick up the laptop. We would give them a demo of the software so they would have an idea of what they were getting and how it was used. They would take them home. Now, in the last 5 weeks, just to put this in context, the Penguin Corps, from the beginning of the year, has had a community donation program, but not that many people followed up on it. I think from October to March, we gave away maybe 5 or 6 computers. In the last 5 weeks, we've given away 60 computers. Now, the program cost approximately $800, and almost all of that was purchasing replacement batteries and a few other odds and ends. So got a calculator out, that comes out to about $13 per device. And the bottom line is, and this is something I've been saying for years, is Linux plus used computers equals more kids learn. And as of today, we're in maintenance mode. If a device goes south, we can replace it with a different one, but we no longer have this gulf that we have to fill anymore because our digital divide is effectively gone. And this is how we did it. Now, for internet access, most families were providing that for themselves before we got involved. We did purchase a few Wi-Fi hotspots, but that really wasn't a major need for us. It was mostly devices, and this is how we address that need.
Thanks so much, Stu. I really appreciate you sharing this story. I mean, I think, you know, this Linux plus used computers equal more kids learn is like kids learn several ways, like with the actual involvement in the refurb to having a device that they can work on. So I really appreciate this kind of outside the box example. Probably not something you can set up and roll on right now, but as you think of, you know, what's ahead, this might be something you want to link up with Stu and learn more about how you can get this going at your own school. So thank you, Stu.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
So